Welcome, my pack, my tribe, to Howling After Dark, Deadtime. Here's the thing. My guest tonight was the creator of the documentary that we were going to be talking about tonight. Unfortunately, he had some prior obligations and couldn't be with us tonight, so it's just going to be me. I am going to reschedule him, hopefully for same time next week. So, stay tuned for all that stuff. In any case, I'm still going to talk about the documentary because I think it's definitely worthwhile to experience. And I think it raises some good questions, as well as probably answers some things that people have had a lot of questions about, especially when it comes to like curses and the like. Anyhow, no, Jeremy, it's not your connection, it's mine. It's been weird all day. And for some reason, it's not letting me use my own name. So... keep saying name Ghostful J is already taken by registered user. I know, I registered it, but then it won't let me friggin' sign it. I can see whatever you guys type, so still feel free to join us. Try something different. Okay, I think that works. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, in any case, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play part of this documentary. They actually interviewed me for like a good 15 or 20 minutes, but due to time constraints, it was edited down to just like a couple minutes. But it was like all the most important stuff, anyways. So, you know, I don't hold that against anyone or anything like that.
downstairs where they told somebody to come upstairs and mess with us. And coincidentally, Trey says he sees a shadow. And at the same time he sees a shadow, Jay's watching PVR cameras and sees this anomaly come down. So there's three occurrences backing each other up.
And you will notice you can watch the entire footage of that evening. That is the brightest piece. If it is dust, it's the brightest piece of dust out of anything you'll see all night. I saw that. Do you remember how far away I was from the monitor? I was a good 6-7 feet away, and I saw it. I'm like, you guys see that? And everybody turned. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Looking at it in the lawn. Now, we are not stating that this is paranormal. What we are stating is that it's coincidental that three things happen at the exact same time. The group downstairs asks for it to come upstairs and mess with us. Then this light anomaly happens, and then Trey turns and says that he sees a shadow. For all three of those things to happen, it's pretty convincing that this may be paranormal. But once again, we are not stating that this is in fact paranormal. There is a very good chance that that could be a piece of dust.
So, we just wrapped up an interview down here, and we were walking out of the basement, and I smelled like a woman's or female smell, like a perfume or something. And Jay then smelled it, and you smelled it too, right? You're smelling it right now.
Okay, so what they're talking about right there is orbs. Okay, so if you've seen the video, then you probably already know the part I'm talking about. But the particular one they're talking about, I personally do not for a second believe is dust. And here's why. It was far too bright and it was oddly shaped. Your round dust orbs, you can tell a dust orb really easily. They're kind of uniform in a way that they appear very round. They don't look like they're being illuminated from within, like this thing did, number one. And number two, they kind of flurry, like snow flurries, where it's you can tell it's just kind of caught on the wind. This thing was flying in a straight line, which, even though it's a straight line, we typically, if we're going to call an orb a spirit orb, we like to see some kind of movement or something that denotes intelligence. And even though it's a straight line, it still denotes intelligence, because every other piece of like dust orb or whatever around it was in like a flurry. It was going, in random patterns, and this thing flew straight across the frickin' room. So I think personally that what they caught there was in fact a spirit, but that's just my opinion. But the next part we're going to listen to is the part leading up to and the interview that they did with me.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go grab Kate, bring her down, tell her what's going on, and we're going to go back and see if she picks up. It's just okay. On me? Yeah, but I don't
necessarily credible, and I'm not sure that the experience we had was even necessarily paranormal, but you gotta admit, Jay, that was weird.
You just want to know if it was repeat or if I would pick up on it.
Yeah, exactly, and it's something I've never experienced down here until tonight, and so, I mean, honestly, I don't know what it was. Since we know nothing about Native American curses, before the investigation, we decided to head back to my place to do a video interview with Ghost Wolf Jay. Ghost Wolf Jay is a Native American who could tell us more about Native curses and what we can expect during the investigation.
So there's a good chance this land is not actually even cursed. You know, over time, the stories got exaggerated. People can't explain bad things that have happened and more or less just kind of said, well, the land must be cursed because of the incidences that have taken place here.
I'm not seeing curses don't happen. They're just typically not against land. And nobody in the right mind.
Yeah.
After our interview with Ghost Wolf Jay, we decided to head back to the restaurant to talk to the owners to see if they had any stories or advice for us going into the investigation.
Okay, so, like, there was a little more to that interview in that, you know, I kind of expounded on the point of what I was saying there, that, you know, what Jay Verberg in that interview actually said is pretty much right on the money. That, and it actually happened quite a bit. It happened with Amityville is a good example, where they thought all the activity that was going on there had something to do with the Native American curse on the land. And what I was pointing out is that that is almost an impossibility because of the relationship with Native Americans and the land that they live on is such that, like, it's unheard of. It's so against the nature that we, like, wouldn't even think of doing that. Really, I mean, it would really take somebody that has been twisted up and is basically, you know, brought upon, you know, insanity in order for that even to be a feasible thing to do. I'm not saying that that's never happened, but it is so extremely rare that the chances of that happening are practically astronomical. It would be more likely that they would curse a particular set of people, like a family, or even set a curse upon white people specifically, than it would be for them to do anything like that against the land itself. Because in order to curse something, you have to desecrate it first. And that is a foreign concept to Native Americans, especially early Native Americans, which is what we're talking about here. This war they're talking about happened in, I believe, like the 1850s. It was called the Walker War. It was between Chief Gruffidge's band of Ute Indians, and which was the local tribe, and the white settlers that were, you know, infringing upon their rights. And well, that's not entirely true. To be quite honest about it, and this did happen a few times throughout our history. Chief Gruffidge actually offered land to the white settlers, you know, to try and keep things peace-like. And his son, Santaquin, which is who the area is named after, didn't like it, and So he got a bunch of warriors together, and that's who actually started the Walker War. So, and if you've watched the documentary, you hear them talk about that a little bit further down. But you know, he did bring up the good point, though, that there is a very good likelihood that the land isn't even cursed. It's just all this activity is happening because of whatever happened, and early settlers, that was the only way they could make sense of it. Is that, oh, they cursed the land, and when the reality is that most likely the activity there has nothing to do with the curse placed on the land by Santaquin or anybody. Most likely what it has to do with is the violence that took place there between the whites and the Indians, and then add to that the tragedy that they spoke about in the beginning with the 3 children and then the old man who all fell into that canal and drowned. That kind of tragic energy is like the perfect formula for haunting activity pretty much anywhere. So it's kind of a cautionary tale I would like to put out there for investigators everywhere. And I give Tyler and Jay Verberg and all those guys a lot of credit because they were smart enough to try and research it and not just jump to conclusions like a lot of investigators have done, even on TV. I can't tell you how many times I've caught ghost hunters and ghost adventurers at it, and I love ghost adventures, don't get me wrong, but even they're bad at it, where they jump to that conclusion, oh, it's a curse because so-and-so is saying it's a curse. That doesn't make it a freaking curse. That is supposition. There is absolutely no evidence to support that. That plus what it would actually take for the land to be cursed, like Santaquin could not have cursed that area himself because he wasn't a shaman. First of all, and just like Dragon Canoe couldn't have cursed Hell's Bar Marina and Dam. He could not have done it because he was not a shaman. And what it would take for a shaman, like you're talking about somebody that would have to be insane enough or just downright evil enough to commit like this ultimate sin, because that's what it takes in order to curse land. So yeah, I don't buy for a second that the place is cursed necessarily. If it turns out it is, like that means like some darker shit happened there aside, other than just a war. I mean, because it takes a blood sacrifice basically, and even when times were desperate with Native Americans in this country, I honestly can't name one shaman that would have done that. Like, ever. I mean, it's that bad. It would be like to kind of put it in perspective, it would be a lot like a Catholic priest turning to Satanism. Yeah, it's possible, but very, very extremely unlikely. Although I'm sure there have been cases, but I would do an astounding amount of research before I ever jump to the conclusion that, any piece of land anywhere was cursed. And I basically debunked Amityville being cursed. I debunked Hales Bar and Marina being cursed. Just to kind of give you a heads up on what I'm talking about here. So, there you go. This is a little off topic, but I want to let you guys know. This broadcast, because I have to broadcast through Spreaker now, it seems to be the only thing that works where there's not an issue. It only allows me to record 45 minutes at a time. So, in order to do, basically a 2-hour show. Well, it's an hour and a half now. But in order for me to do that, once my 45-minute session is up here in part 1, don't go anywhere, because I'm going to be right back with session number 2. And it usually takes a few minutes, so I'm trying to figure something out to where maybe I can prolong that or something. I don't know. But as it stands now, that's what I got to do. So when I go off the air this first time, don't go anywhere, because I'm coming back. That's all I'm saying. Anywho, so if you haven't watched this documentary, it's called Deadtime, The Legend of the Cursed Land. It's really good, actually. And they caught some excellent stuff. Now, granted, when I watched it, some of the audible stuff that they heard, like knocking sounds and the like, didn't really get picked up very well by the camera's audio. So that would really be my only complaint, really. But there was some visual stuff that they caught, some of which I don't even think they realized. I brought it to Tyler's attention. I wanted to hear what he thought about it tonight, but we're gonna have to wait till next week. Yeah, thank you, Jer. Jer messaged me on Facebook. He says, as you would say, the land takes care of you. Cursing the land is something that would never happen. Doing great. Rock on. Awesome, Jer. Thanks. But yeah, it wouldn't. Like I'm trying to think of something to compare it to, because it's so rare, it's ridiculous. But anyhow, moving on. What I'm gonna do now is play some more of this. And this goes into their investigation at Leslie's family tree, which, if you don't know Leslie's family tree, it's a restaurant in San Quentin, Utah. It was actually featured on the Dead Files with Amy Allen and Steve DeShabi, and during Steve's investigation, he actually uncovered the whole thing about the three children and the old man that died in the canal there. And it's not really like a canal. It's not like a canal like we would think of, like here in Ohio, where canal's a big deal. It's basically like a slightly deeper runoff trench, really, than what we would consider a proper canal. So, yeah. But anyways, here we go.
My name is Kim.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. But they just said something that I think is very useful for paranormal investigators. Be aware of what your equipment does. Like they said, their walkie-talkies were causing the motion detector to go off because for whatever reason, the electronics in that particular device were picking up that frequency. So just be aware of stuff like that. What I do personally, anytime I get any kind of equipment, whether it be hard equipment or like a cell phone app or what have you, is I'll test it out around all my other equipment and just see if there's any kind of interference or if it causes anything to go off, that kind of thing. I think that's a good practice for anybody at all that's serious about this particular field of study. So yeah. Anyhow, got about a minute and a half left, so when this goes off, don't go anywhere. It's probably going to take me like a couple minutes to come back, but I will be back, so don't fret. And then we'll continue on with the show, because it's cool like that. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. Not only Jeremy, who probably the most loyal listeners I got, but I know quite a few of you don't log into chat or anything like that too, so I want to thank you all for tuning in, but don't go anywhere because we're not quite done tonight. Alright folks, well with that I will be back.